Bladesmiths, welcome to the forge. All right, Ben, you have the choice of the weapon or the forge welding technique.
The weapon.
All right, we've got quite the assortment here, all of which look pretty daunting. What are you thinking?
Let's go with the Xiphos.
The Xiphos, all right.
The Xiphos is a leaf blade, double-edged sword, and just super cool and very iconic for the gladiators.
The Xiphos first saw battle back in 7th century BC Greece, but was so effective it also saw action in the hands of gladiators in the Colosseum. Featuring a short, double-edged, leaf-shaped blade with a sharp tip, this weapon was designed to inflict brutal thrusts and slashes against an enemy in close-quarter combat. The Xiphos was previously featured in Season 3 of Forged in Fire, where a loose pommel ultimately cost one smith the competition.
We have 8 hours on the clock for this battle, so good luck, stay sharp, your time starts now.
I'm choosing to do 2 separate stacks of 10 layers because I need 2 outside billets that I can then put onto my 80 CRV2. I'm feeling pretty good about this forge weld, and now it's just drawing it out to that 19 inches.
Ben's at the point with that billet of his that he needs to fuller that thing.
With the power hammer die, I'm able to stretch that steel out pretty nice, getting it closer to that final shape that I want. So once I get my billet drawn out and to shape, I start cleaning it, and all of a sudden, oh! It smacked me right in my face. Everything looks pretty symmetrical, so now I'm ready to start getting this thing prepped for quench.
Ben's in the oil.
Looks straight, I feel good, so now it's just letting it cool down and ultimately starting to put my bevels in once it cools. Now I'm ready to get my bevels ground in. Leaf blades are double-edged, and so it's not only 2 bevels, but 4 bevels, so it's just time-consuming, making sure that everything's nice and symmetrical. Looking at my handle, I realized it's a little too long, so I gotta shorten up the handle so that the whole piece is the right size for a handle. My handle's feeling good. Now I'm ready to go put an edge on this thing.
For my Damascus, I'm using 10 layers of 1095 and 10 layers of 151020.
Jesse setting his welds by hand again.
Again, what you're comfortable with.
The billet is really solid. So I go over to the press and start drawing the billet out. My Damascus pieces are a lot wider than my 80 CRV2 pieces. So it's crucial that I get these centered correctly. As I'm drawing the billet out on the forging press, I think the welds have set really well, but I can't tell because of the overhanging layers. There's a cold shut around my entire billet. But I don't know how far this cold shut goes until I go to the grinder and start peeling it open. I'm beyond relieved. The cold shut only goes along the edge. It does not go through, and I am still in this. It's time to start forging this blade to shape.
Maniac.
Well, we're looking at a quench here pretty soon.
I'm more than halfway through the 8 hours. If this quench fails, I'm screwed.
Here we go.
I heard no pings or pops during the quench. I take it out, file test it, and it skates like ice.
Perfect.
Now that I'm quenched, I take the blade over to the grinder and begin hogging off material. As I'm grinding off the welds, I see that I do not have clean material. If this weld is weak, my pommel is gonna fly off when they test it, and I cannot have that. I grind off the welds, and it is perfect. It looks like one homogeneous piece of steel. Thank God that worked, and now it's time to start finally grinding my handle to shape. This is the least time I've ever had to shape a handle. I have to make sure that there's no sharp edges on my pommel or guard that could cut a judge's hand. With just seconds left on the clock, I sharpen the blade as best I can.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bladesmiths, turn off your machines, put down your tools. This battle is officially over. Heck of a matchup.
All right, gentlemen, it's time for our strength test, the Roman pot chop. And Jesse, you are up first. You ready?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, Jesse, right off, when I grab this, that handle's a good size for me. As far as your edge holding up, I mean, I can feel some loss of sharpness, but man, where I didn't hit a pot, it's definitely a sharp blade. But I think you did a great job on the balance. The look of this is sweet. The scale is right on. Nicely done.
Thank you.
Ben, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. All right, Ben, right off, could use a little bit more handle, but I like the transitions you've got from handle to pummel and from handle to guard. As far as the edge of your blade goes, you've got a lot of rolling. There's a couple of spots that there are actually little sharp burrs, but everything's right and tight, felt good, held up well, nicely done.
Thank you.
Gladiators of the Forge. Looks like it's coming down to this. This is the sharpness test, the flying sandbag slice. Jesse, you're up first. You ready for this?
Yep.
Let's do this. All right, Jesse, let's talk about your Xiphos sword right here. It's got a great, nice feel to it. The balance of this is really good. And talking about your edge, it slices and I can move around with your weapon. Overall, sir, your Xiphos, it will cut.
Thank you.
All right, Ben, your turn. So you ready?
Let's do it.
Let's have some fun. All right, Ben, let's talk about your Xiphos sword here. Your handle, it's smooth. It's just a little bit small for my hands. I'd rather have something girthier in there so that when I'm wielding this, I really have good control of it. But the areas where you suffered a little bit of rolling were not an issue. It cut nicely on these bags. Overall, sir, your Xiphos, it will cut.
Thank you.
Well, gentlemen, from the moment you stepped into this Coliseum, it was clear that you came here ready to fight. But in this competition, only one of you can come out of this battle as the Gladiator of the Forge and receive a check for $5,000. The winner of this Gladiator of the Forge battle is... Jesse, you did it again. Congratulations. Now, Ben, you are clearly a force to be reckoned with, but unfortunately your blade did not make the cut. All of us want to say thank you so much for coming to this battle and fighting so hard, but unfortunately at this time, I'm going to have to ask you to please step off the forge floor.
Thank you, gentlemen, for the opportunity. Jesse,
Thank
Good
congrats,
job.
man. You did great.
Great job, Ben.
Jesse, you're an incredible smith, a great guy. Go on and win the entire thing, brother.
Well, Jesse, that makes you a two-time Gladiator of the Forge. You are now at a total of $10,000. Congratulations.
Thank you. I just won 2 battles in a row. I'm so happy. I have $10,000 in my wallet now, and I still have the opportunity to win more. I'm gonna have to email my professors and tell them I can't come to class because who knew I would be here? I'm here to win. My plan is to go as far as I can, hopefully to the end of all of the Gladiator battles.
Gentlemen, you're here to compete in the 5th battle of our Gladiator of the Forge competition. Now, Jesse, you have 2 notches on your victory belt. This could potentially be your 3rd win, totaling $15,000. Jesse, weapon or forge-welding technique?
I want the weapon,
You know how this works. What are you thinking?
the Sica sword.
The Sica traces its origins back to the 1st century, where it was widely used by Thracian gladiators in the Roman Colosseum. Featuring a large hooked double-edged blade, this deadly weapon was specifically designed to reach around shields to deliver cuts and slashes on an enemy. While its unique curve made the Sica a formidable opponent in battle, It proved extremely challenging for bladesmiths to replicate back in a Season 4 competition on Forged in Fire.
Now, Eric, because Jesse got to pick the weapon, that leaves you with the forge welding technique. What are you thinking?
Ladder pattern Damascus.
Ladder pattern Damascus. All right, now do you want to have any minimum layer count?
120.
There we go. I love it.
I'm going with the 120 layer ladder pattern Damascus because I'm comfortable with Damascus, and I'm hoping that the high layer count might trip up my younger opponent.
Good luck, gentlemen. Stay sharp. Your time starts now.
Ladder pattern, I'm not too concerned about. It was what he said after that scared me. 120 layers, man. Why?
That is a big billet.
My first billet is 24 layers, and my plan is to get it drawn out and then cut it up into 5. That would bring me to a total of exactly 120 layers. Once I'm certain that my welds are set, I get ready to draw out my billet. I'm pressing my billet down on the press, and it seems my welds were perfect. So I get my ladder pattern ground in, and then I flatten it out. And get ready to forge out my blade.
There you go.
There we go. Jesse putting the bend in on the anvil.
Now that I've got my blade forged completely to shape, I get ready to heat treat my blade.
And
Jesse is quenched.
Nice.
I think we're good.
It looks great. I am feeling very solid.
That's good.
I sharpened it as best I can, and it's time to move on to the handle. Now that I have the handle blocks glued onto my tang, it's time to put that mechanical connection in. My plan for the mechanical connection is to put 2 pins, one through the actual handle block and one through the pommel. I put the pinhole through the handle block, and it goes very smoothly. Then I move on to my pommel. I shape the pommel as best I can, and I bring it over to the welder. I'm gonna make a weld bead so big it acts as a nut, so that the pommel can't physically slide off.
This is a one-handed sword we're making. It can't be heavy. So I'm starting with 14 layers of 15N20 and 1095.
Welding!
I'm going to have to cut it into 3, restack it. That will give me 42 layers. And then I'm going to have to cut it into 3 and restack it again in order to get to my 126 layers.
Well, that's just causing more work for Eric because he's gonna have to stretch out that steel further, stack it more, and he's also gonna lose more material when he's grinding all those pieces flat.
Hopefully I have enough. I get my second restack done. It's time to throw it in the oil.
There it is.
All right.
All right, Eric has quenched his blade.
I check it, and I've got myself a pretty darn straight blade. I'm ecstatic, and then I realize I've still got to do all of my handle work.
Oh my God, he's gonna do a mortise handle.
That seems like a very risky move. He knows he's got brittle handle material, and you guys are gonna put it through the ringer.
Ain't pretty, but it'll work.
It goes through no problem, and I am so relieved. I still have to put an edge on this blade, but there's not a lot of time left. I get that curve as sharp as I can get it. Hopefully it's sharp enough to cut something, but I suppose we're gonna find out.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh my God.
Bladesmiths, turn off your machines. Put down your tools. This battle's officially over.
Bladesmiths, welcome to our strength test. Our chariot wheel chop. Jesse, you're up first. You ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
All right, Jesse, nice job.
Thank you.
No edge damage. Everything's still straight. Your handle, couple little issues. Obviously, you know, having the wire of the MIG sticking out. And I wish you had had time to etch a little bit more so I could see the pattern, but I could see it and it is there. So all in all, nice job.
Thank you.
All right, Eric, you ready to go?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Good to know.
I managed to make this small amount of steel work, but I am not 100% confident whether or not the blade is gonna hold up in the strength test. I'm hoping it holds together.
All right, breathe, Art. You survived, man. Nice job on the blade. There's a little bit of glinting, but you still got an edge on most of this blade. My biggest issue is the handle that's split on you. There's a lot of hot spots on there, but it didn't hurt me. It's still straight and still got an edge. Good job.
Thank you.
Gladiators of the Forge, welcome to the sharpness test, the tube size. Jesse, you're up first. You ready for this?
Yep.
All right, let's do this. All right, Jesse, let's talk about your Sica sword here. First up, nice profile with your blade. You have a nice balance with the Sica, and overall, sir, you will cut.
Thank you.
Eric, your turn, sir. You ready?
Cut him clean, Doug.
Let's do this. All right, Eric, let's talk about your Sica sword here. It's a nice balance you have with your weapon here. Now let's talk about your edge. In this area, it's just not sharp. It probably took some dulling during the strength test because I can really run my hand on this. But it did cut a little bit, and overall, well, it'll cut a little bit.
Well, gentlemen, in 8 hours, you both took stacks of steel, turned them into 120 layer ladder Damascus Sicas, guys. You impressed us the entire way through. But only one of you can come out on top of this battle today, earning a check for $5,000 and the title of Gladiator of the Forge. And the champion of today's forging competition is... Jesse, you've done it again. Congratulations. Now, Eric, man, you fought hard. You impressed us all along the way, but unfortunately, your Sica did not make the cut today. I'm gonna have to ask you to please step off the forge floor.
Go get him, man. Go get him.
Good job,
Thanks,
Eric.
guys. I proved everything to myself that I came here to prove. This experience does make me want to learn a bit more about some of the Roman weapons. There are multiple weapons on that wall that I will be making in my future.
Jesse, that's 3 up and 3 down. Now you have $15,000, and you are 2 wins away from that bonus of $10,000. The big question we have is, are you up for going back into battle and fighting it out and trying to get that 10 grand?
Yes, of course.
That was a little bit more tentative yes than your previous competitions.
I'm still the reigning Gladiator of the Forge. That's my 3rd win in a row, and that's $15,000.
We're excited to see you fight it out again, man. We'll see you on the Coliseum floor.
I'm gonna do my best to try to win as many more as I can. I want to go all the way to the end.